Hi creative friends, welcome back to Kelly Does Stuff. It is February, the month of Valentine's Day. I am not a fan of Valentine's Day, but I do like a Valloween. So I thought I would create a little Valloween vignette, like a little scene. You know how we do inside of the craft pumpkins? But we're not gonna use a pumpkin. We're gonna use a heart, but not this heart because it's too small. So let's grab our big hearts and let's go.
Okay, I've got two heart boxes from Michaels. They're pretty much the same. One is a little bit deeper, the other one is a little bit taller. I decided to go with the deeper one. Now my theme for this is going to be a love shack. We're gonna see the room inside of the shack. Which room? A living room, a kitchen, dining room? I don't know. We're gonna figure it out as we go. The first thing we need to do though is give this room some walls, and we're gonna go with some wood walls. Oh no, I have made an oopsie. My wood grain is going horizontally. I really wanted to go vertically, so I'm going to re-cut out my heart wall, glue it in place. This is much better, but I can't overstate how absurd it is that I did this, because now we're gonna cut out some wallpaper and cover up most of the wood. I want to age and dirty up this wallpaper a bit, so I'm going to do a brown wash. This is just brown acrylic paint and water. As I'm doing this, I remember that I think I have a better product to give this distressed wallpaper effect. Well, this seems ominous. There's been a fire in the love shack. Now, I feel like I've said this before, but it definitely bears repeating for this project. This is not necessarily a how-to what to do, because, yep, I just set a piece of paper totally on fire. Let's go ahead and redo that. Listen, kids, if you're watching, don't do anything with fire without an adult present. And if you're an adult watching who happens to be an adult like me, maybe don't do anything with fire unless you have a more adultier adult present. And of course our love shack needs a floor. Oh, and I should mention that for this project, one of my goals is to try to use things that I already have. I have so many craft supplies. I'm gonna try not to buy anything. Okay, that's a lie, because obviously I bought the Valloween heart box, but I'm gonna do my best to use what I have. So this is just some scrap balsa wood that I have. I'm gonna use some Posca paint pens to create a checkered floor pattern. And what love abode would be complete without a window? None. The answer is none abodes. For my window frame, I'm going with brown acrylic paint and a wet paintbrush. I just wanted to dilute that brown a little bit to give it more of a wood stain effect versus straight paint. And I did not feel like breaking out my black acrylic paint, so I'm just using this black Posca pen to get a little bit of black paint on that same paintbrush, dirty it up, distress it, add some depth and dimension, all that jazz to the pieces of my window frame. Oh no, we have fire again. I'm starting to get a little bit worried about the lovers in the love shack. Let's give the interior of our shack a little break and work on the exterior. I'm going to use some popsicle sticks to create my wood planks, and then when it's time to get to the roof, I'm going to use some cardboard to create some shingles. Okay, so of course we need to have photos on the wall of our love shack, and the skeleton portraits made sense to me. I'm getting a little weirded out. We're putting bugs on the wall. Maybe these are their pets. You know, you guys have pet larvae, right? Okay. For my frames, I'm going to do a couple different types. This is a dowel I'm painting with gold metallic paint. Then I have these leftover scraps that I saved from one of those miniature room kits, you know, where you create like a reading nook or a witch's coffee shop or something like that. I had a feeling I was going to be able to use these things, and lucky for the larva, it's getting framed today. while I wait for that glue to completely and fully dry, I'm gonna give my wood exterior a first coat of brown paint. For my roof, I'm using a bit of red, holiday red, I think it's called, mixed in with a little bit of brown to give it a little bit of a darker, maybe a brickish red color. I don't want this to look really vibrant. Back to my wood planks. Often when I am using popsicle sticks to create wood planks, I will use some kind of knife, like an X-Acto knife or a blade, to scruff up the planks and give them a little bit more of a wood texture detail, but I did not feel like doing that this time. So we are gonna just add some detail with paint. This is just black paint. I'm doing a dry brushing, light brushing to just kind of make these look a little bit more interesting. I'm going back to my scraps to cut out some shelves for our wall, and I can't wait to see what kind of knickknacks these people put on their shelves. Of course our love shack needs curtains. You just know that Phyllis and Walter, those are lovers, you knew that, yeah? They have curtains, of course. So I'm gonna cut two squarish shapes of this fabric. We're gonna give it a little fold and a little iron to kind of get our pleats in there. And then we're gonna buckle up, kids, because becomes a disaster real fast. So listen, I was going to use a hole punch and make little holes up at the top and then attach some jump rings to be the grommets and then thread a dowel through to be the curtain rod. But the hole punch that I had didn't even want to go through a piece of paper, so it definitely wasn't going through that fabric. So here I am with an X-Acto knife sort of tearing at my curtain. Can you see those holes? Yeah, I can't really either. But they're there. And at this point I tell myself, you know what, Kelly, probably attaching some jump rings is gonna be a real pain. And who's gonna see it? Plus there was a fire in this house. Maybe all the jump rings melted off. I think it's good enough if we just have some holes. We can thread this little dowel here, give ourselves a nice little curtain rod, and be so proud of ourselves. Yay. Yep, clap it up. Kel, we're good. We're done. Let's just leave it alone. Okay. Nope, you had to do it. You had to grab the jump rings, didn't you? Unfortunately, this first one goes into place pretty easily, which gives me some undeserved confidence to keep going. And I'm just gonna go ahead. I'm gonna play a little bit of the audio of me in real time so you can be right there inside this nightmare with me.
You were gonna cover up the hole. That's not good. What are we doing right now, Kelly? Why did I hate that I decided to do this. Get off. Now I'm gonna have jump rings stuck to me. It's all gonna be fine. It's not gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. You know, I really was just gonna let these curtains exist without rings, because it sort of seems like the kind of house where that would be acceptable. But hello, I don't know where the hole is. I can't see. Can you guys even see that? There's so much stuff on this table, it literally doesn't know where to focus. It's probably hurting your eyes too. Everybody's suffering. That first one was so easy. That's how it goes. That's how they get you. Oh no. It's fine. This is fine. This is a thing that happened. It's fine. You know, I really had told myself, like, absolutely not. We don't need rings. This was just, oh, look how easy that one was. Oh, yeah, let's do rings. Yeah, just come on. Yep, nope. Back to your old ways again, I see. You got it. Nope. Come on. Oh, no. No, we're just stuck. I am enraged. Okay, good. Let's just, yeah. Nope, now I have super glue on my finger. Now we're just throwing stuff on the ground. Okay, that one was easy.
Les, do you think that nightmare deterred me from doing the second one? No, we're back at it again.
You know, I truly regret every decision I've ever made in my life that led me to this moment.
Okay, I won't subject you to any more of that. And if you're still here, if you made it through all of that, I commend you. Truly, I do. Let me know when the regret starts to set in, that you're never going to get those 2.5 minutes of your life back. Sorry. In a twist that surprises no one, the rings either fell off or I pulled them off when I was threading the curtain rod. Phyllis and Walter don't care. They're in love. I was feeling like the ceiling was looking a little boring, so I'm going to add some wood beams. Time to break out the skeletons. These are from the dollar store. Now, what exactly is happening with them? Okay, they're going in the basement, just a hand and another hand? I don't know, you guys. It's a little suspicious, I think. Phyllis and Walter need some furniture, and this does look like a table and chairs you might find more outside, in a patio, a garden. But we're just happy Phyllis and Walter have furniture, okay? Because there was a fire, so they're doing the best they can. I'm going to use some air dry clay to make some little candles, and for the wick all I had was dark green floral wire, but that's okay. I don't think you're going to be able to tell that it's not black. We're using what we got. I've got some XPS foam here that I'm going to use as the base for my love shack, and to help keep this thing upright, I've grabbed a couple of dowels. I created a set of stairs leading up to the house, and this is just popsicle sticks. I did texture these with a blade to give it some better wood grain detail, and I start out by trying to glue these with some super glue, and even though it was pretty fast drying, that exhausted my patience for waiting for it to dry, so I did switch over to my beloved glue gun. Okay, I want to create a walkway up to my house, and I have these glass domes that I want to use as cobblestones, and I want them to kind of rest in the styrofoam there, so I'm going to use a hot wire tool to carve out the shape. And the reason I'm using these glass domes is because I have this idea of creating a lit walkway. I did try really hard to carve inside of those circles, but I ended up taking away too much foam, which can happen pretty easily when you're using a hot wire tool. So my glass domes are falling through, which is fine. We'll just kind of bulk that up with some air dry clay. I start out with just a little clay, and then I'm like, oh, forget this. We gotta cover the whole path or it's going to be bumpy. So now I'm just gonna use some super glue and get those glass domes in place. Any guesses what we're making now? If you guessed grave, you are right. Because of course these people have a grave in the front yard. All right, so I'm going to use some earth texture here to kind of smooth out the transition from the grave into the ground. And I really love this product. You can use it by itself. It's got a great texture to it. Or you can add in scraps of things like I'm doing with the styrofoam. You could add in flocking or moss to kind of bulk it up. I'm going to fill in the path with some pebbles. These are just from the dollar store. I'm using some Mod Podge to secure them in place. I put it on the bottom, and since we kind of have a thick layer there, I'm also going to coat the top of them with more Mod Podge. I really felt like this yard needed a statement tree, so I'm going to make one out of floral wire and clay. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly so this video isn't 5 million years long, but if you want to see more detail on how to make these, I do have a video on these trees. And this is floral wire that I'm wrapping around the tree. It just kind of seems to help the clay stick a little bit easier to the wire. You could use masking tape or painter's tape if you don't have floral wire. I flipped the platform over so I could work on lighting that pathway, and in the spirit of using the things that I have, I'm going to use white fairy lights and this red cellophane so that I can give the path a reddish glow. I did not have red fairy lights. For my ground cover, I'm going to use my static grass applicator. I absolutely love this because it allows the grass to stand up like real grass. It comes in so many different colors and sizes of your grass. We're going to go with a taller grass here, maybe a yard that is still doing okay. Like the grass isn't brown, but it's been a little neglected and the grass is getting kind of tall. This room, of course, needs some light, so I'm just making a hole in the top here, and then I'm going to thread a dollhouse light through the top and secure that in place with some super glue. I wanted to create a top for my table so I could put some drinks or snackies on top, and it's a little uneven, so I'm just going to create a little tabletop with some leftover packaging. I think this was from those flowers that we lined the path with. And here she is, Phyllis. I'm going to give her some hair. This is actually a grass product, and I'm just going to super glue it to her head. Okay, I don't want to judge because she has been through a lot. But her hair is taking me out. I don't know if it was so much a fire, maybe an explosion. It blew her hair straight back. I don't know, girl. We gotta fix you up. Yeah, I did not have skeleton hairstylist on my 2026 bingo card, but here we are. Okay, we've got our snackies, some cookies, and based on the state of Phyllis's hair, I don't think these are going to be in the best shape, so let's mold them up. I'm just adding a bit of green paint, and then once again using a grass product to give it a little fuzzy mold look. Time to decorate this house, and while we do, I think I may know what happened to Phyllis and Walter. So they are enjoying a lovely afternoon with some lemonade and some cookies, before they went moldy, and suddenly a fire breaks out. And Walter is like, "Do not worry, Phyllis, I will go get the fire extinguisher." And he goes down to the basement, but then he gets trapped down there, and Phyllis cannot hear him because the song Love Shack comes on the radio, and she is singing at the top of her lungs while the fire rages on around her. That's what happens, okay? And then the radio gets stuck in some sort of time loop and just keeps playing Love Shack, and Phyllis keeps singing, and then Walter is screaming and ultimately perishes down inside the basement. And Phyllis just keeps singing and waiting for her lover to return until ultimately she perishes too. I don't really know though why there would be a grave in the front yard. Whose grave is that for? Who dug it? So many questions. All right, creative friends, we are coming to the end, getting those final details in place. Thank you all so much for joining me for something a little bit different today. Whether you celebrate Valentine's Day or Valloween or something entirely different, I hope you have a wonderful time. If you could, please give this video a like and subscribe to my channel. A huge thank you to all of you who have subscribed. I look forward to seeing you next time, and happy creating!